Welcome to the Geeks and Greeks podcast, where we bring in the latest and greatest in the world of sports. We couldn't be more thrilled to kick off this exciting journey with all of you. In this podcast, we'll dive into everything from game recaps to news and hot takes. Whether you're a diehard fan or just someone looking to stay in the loop, there's something here for everyone. So grab your favorite team's jersey, settle in with some snacks, and let's get ready for an adrenaline-packed ride through the world of sports. All right. Welcome back to week 4 of the NFL season and another episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast. I'm super excited. We got another great episode coming for at you today. Unfortunately, Pete cannot be here this evening, but we are still going to two-man it tonight, so we got a good episode no matter what. And so it's going to be fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the episode. Always helps with the algorithms and for getting the show out there and in front of everybody. So thank you to those that do. We really appreciate it. And how's the week been? Before we get into everything, how's your week been going?
Busy. School's back in session, and show choir practice is 4 days a week, and that extracurricular is a lot to keep on.
Yeah, one is bad enough. You hear these stories of kids that do like 2 or 3, and I don't know how they do it, man. Like, I know some of them do it for like the college applications and stuff, but it's like, how? Like, how do you do it? Like, how do the parents keep track of it, man?
A lot of notes.
Yeah, or like the kids that do even some of the kids that do like, sports and stuff, and they'll do 2 at the same time. Like, how are you doing like basketball and wrestling at the same time? Like, I don't, more power to those people, man. I don't know. But like, no, I get that. School's been kicking my butt lately too. Like, I got 2 classes at the same time going on in this session, and I'm just doing okay. It's my other one where it's actually like a practical class where I got to build and design like different circuits and stuff. That one's been difficult to say the least. But part of it also is kind of me kind of overcomplicating and overthinking things at the same time too. So which apparently I tend to do when I'm taking things from a book knowledge thing to a practicality thing. I tend to overcomplicate it, just overthink it. And when I talk to my professor, he's just like, no, it's kind of just this, and this. And I'm like, well, I just did way too much to make this thing way more complicated than it need to be then. All right.
But that brings us along to the first segment of the podcast, QB Survivor.
And now it's time for QB Survivor.
Yeah. QB Survivor, where every week we choose quarterbacks to eliminate until the end of the regular season, where we find out who is the QB Survivor. This is the last week where we get to eliminate 2 quarterbacks. But because Pete is gone, we'll be both nominating 3 quarterbacks. But before we get to that part, we both have to give our immunity to somebody. So Adam, who are you giving immunity to?
So my immunity is going to go to someone that I think had just a fluke bad week against a bad team. And I'm giving mine to Justin Herbert. Like, the Chargers lost to the Giants this week, and I don't think this is who he is. I mean, he's had 3 really good weeks, and I think this is just an absolute fluke. I don't see this continuing. I think he's going to be just fine. And like I said, this was, a fluke against a bad team. 39.6 QBR was bad, and so were the 2 interceptions. But again, I just don't think this is him. I think this may be just a bug in the system, and he'll get it worked out, and he'll be fine. So he's sticking around.
I am giving my immunity to Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels had a knee sprain and didn't play, and normally injuries like this will get you on a one-way ticket to the chopping block, but the Doc Prognosis says that he's supposed to be back for week 5. And if that's the case, I'm going to give him a chance to stay on the island and see what he can do.
Yeah, he actually missed last week as well.
Yeah.
So surprisingly, we didn't put Mariota up last week either, because he was his backup last week and actually played worse last week than he did this week, ironically enough. But I was thinking about him. But yeah, from what I've read, he is supposed to play this week against the Chargers, actually.
That'll be something.
So it's, Washington versus the Chargers this week.
But Adam, who are your 3 nominations for the chopping block?
All right. Well, my number 1 this week, unfortunately, I hate to do it because I think I've saved him once, if not twice, was Geno Smith. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't save him again. But he had a bad week. 17 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 25.9 QBR. Now, he had no sacks, which is nice, but I can't do it anymore. I can't. Like, Geno's one of these guys where he either plays really, really well or he just completely shits the bed. Like, there's almost no in between. And as much as I love Geno Smith, unfortunately, I've got to put him up. My other nomination is going to be Short King Kyler Murray. Again, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 28 QBR with 6 sacks.
6 sacks.
Yeah, like some of them were his fault, some of them were not. Like, the defense just really got to him in this time. Like, I don't know what's going on in Arizona. Like, I really, really liked Marvin Harrison coming out, but like, him and Kyler are not on the same page at all. And it's like they're not even looking at the same playbook or running in practice together. Like, you can tell just by if you watch some of these games, like, he'll throw it and Kyler puts it right where it looks like it's supposed to be, but Harrison just isn't watching for it. I don't know what it is, and I don't know what's going on. And it's kind of sad because, like I said, I loved Marvin Harrison coming out of college. He was like a top pick for a reason. Arizona took him in the top 10. I mean, an absolutely phenomenal college athlete. I don't know what's going on with these two, but I mean, if they can get on the same page, I think Arizona can do some real damage. But Kyler was kind of running for his life this week, and it's just unfortunate. But I think it was a bad week for him. So, and then my number 3 with a bullet is going to be, unfortunately, the only rookie in this year, and that's going to be Cam Ward. He's had some bad weeks before, and I kind of wanted to give him some more time. This week was just even worse, and it was against a team in Houston that their defense hasn't looked great, and their defense made their defense look even better. Granted, the Titans are a really bad team, and that offensive line is not great, but I don't know. I think Cam Ward is doing the best he can with what little talent they do have out there, but I just think he's kind of gone as far as he can with this segment in QB Survivor. And so I'm 108 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, and a 27 QBR with 2 sacks. Like I said, he's doing as good as he can with what little they have to work with. It's just, unfortunately, there just isn't much there that he can really deal with. So I think it's time to kind of put him out of his misery here.
All right. I am going to put up Baker Mayfield with 1 interception, 2 sacks, and a completion rate just north of 50%. It's not great, Baker. And yeah. Caleb Williams, 22 for 37 for 212, an interception and a sack. And finally, it hurts. It really does. Lamar Jackson with 147 yards, 1 interception and 3 sacks, and a fumble. Come on, man. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar did leave the game hurt. That was part of the issue.
Yeah, and that is also why Lamar is number 7 on my list. But
Yeah.
But as far as voting goes, you took my 1, 2, and 3. So I will vote for Cam Ward and Geno Smith.
All right. So I'll also vote Geno Smith, and I'm going to also vote for Cam Ward. So I guess this one will be unanimous this week, and it'll be these two. Like, it's funny, I didn't even have Baker or Lamar. They were actually two guys that were on my immunity list, to be honest with you. Because Baker even though his completion percentage wasn't great, he brought Tampa Bay back in that game against Philly, and he had some absolutely amazing throws in that game. And a couple clutch runs, too, on third down to extend the drives they even had. And it's like Baker did everything he possibly could, and the stats don't show it, but if you go back and watch the game, if it wasn't for Baker, that game wouldn't have been as close as it was, to be honest with you.
Now, I want to be clear that I'm not hating on these guys. It's that everyone had really good stats this week. At least the guys on the island had really good stats. Yeah. So I was nitpicking the crap out of these guys just to get a list of 7.
I actually had Danny Dimes on my list.
Danny Dimes is already out. He got eliminated in the preseason.
He did? That's right, he did. I forgot he was already out.
Yeah, I would have put Danny Dimes up myself, but
yeah, that's right. I forgot that he was. I missed him on the list of already. I also had Jared Goff on my list too, to be honest with you.
He was my number 8.
So, but yeah, that's fair. I totally spaced it. He's pre-eliminated Daniel Jones because we didn't expect him to be this good.
No, yeah, that was crazy.
It was like Sam Darnold last year. We didn't expect him to play as good as he did, and they start playing him like, guess we missed the ball on that.
But this week, Cam Ward and Geno Smith, you're off the island.
It's all over. Wow, that is a disturbing image.
For that, we should have had Kyler Murray after those 6 sacks.
Moving on to the next segment of the podcast, winners and losers.
Time for winners and losers.
I want winners. I want people that want to win.
You are one pathetic loser.
Winners and losers, where we at the Geeks and Greeks podcast predict a team to win next week and a team to lose next week. We can only choose a team once for the year, and at the end of the year, we see who has the most points. This year, we're turning up the difficulty with the rule that both the winning team and losing team have to be from the same division. And as always, the winner and the loser must be from 2 different games. Starting with our recap, last week, Adam went with the Panthers to win over the Patriots. Unfortunately, the Panthers lost 42-13 in an uncharacteristic game from the Patriots.
I thought you were going to say uncharacteristically. I'm like, no, that's kind of what their MO has been. I just thought they'd carry some sort of momentum from that 30-0 win, but apparently I was just wrong.
And Adam also had the Buccaneers to lose to the Eagles. Sure did. 31-25. Go Birds. After a small retcon, Pete went with the NFC West, taking the 49ers to win over the Jaguars. Unfortunately, the 49ers lost to the Jaguars 26-21, and took the Rams to lose to the Colts. I was hoping we could ride this winning streak a little longer, but it is what it is. Rams win 27-20 over the Colts. And don't take it so hard, Adonai Mitchell. A lot of people try to do their best Deshaun Jackson impersonations. It's best not to go that far, though.
Hey, you know what? Not everyone can be in as good as company as Deshaun Jackson. They even both wore number 10, which makes it even better.
I forgot that Deshaun wore 10.
Yeah, he used to wear number 10 when he was in Philly, which makes it even better.
Wow, I didn't even put that together. That's great.
I didn't know that Adonai Mitchell wore 10 until I watched the highlights, and I'm like, oh my God, they even both wore number 10. What are the odds of that even happening?
Oh, that's crazy. And then I took the AFC East, and I chose the Bills to win over the Saints. Yeah, easy call. 31-19 was a little closer than I was thinking. I was expecting like a blowout.
It still is a blowout. Let's be fair here.
And then I took the Jets to lose to the Dolphins. Yes, they lost 27-21, but at the cost of Tyreek Hill, who suffered a dislocated knee and a torn ACL, which makes him the second high-profile wide receiver with an ACL tear this week. Malik Neighbors of the Giants being the first. Both Neighbors and Hill are projected to be out for the rest of the season with an ACL tear. Ugh.
Is it ironic that Malik Neighbors tore his ACL at MetLife Stadium and he probably should get some life insurance policy?
Too soon?
Eh. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh, heck. But after week 4, I hold the lead with 4 points. Adam's on my heels with 2 and Pete at 1.
Yeah. I mean, hey, at this rate, Tom's going to run away with this thing.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? But for week 5, Adam, what division are you choosing for your winner and loser?
So, it's funny. I was looking at the schedule for this week, and this week also starts the buys, which makes things even harder because we don't have the entire league to choose from now. This was a hard week to choose from because, especially with now having to pick within the division and also track the teams we have already chosen and everything, I'm like, oh man, like it was difficult for me to do this because there were some teams that I wanted to pick, but then having to stay within the division, I'm like, I don't trust this because I wanted to I was looking at taking the Lions over the Bengals, but the only other team from the NFC North that was playing was the Vikings playing the Browns. And I'm like, I'm not picking the Vikings to lose to the Browns. I don't trust that at all.
No.
Now, granted, watch, that would actually happen, and I would have actually gotten 2 points off of it because the Vikings are staying over in Europe because they have the England game this week. So the Vikings aren't coming home, and the Browns have to travel to England. So that may have actually been a smart choice. It's not what I did. In retrospect, that's probably what I should have done. But I am actually taking the AFC South this week.
Ooh, okay.
So, I am taking the Indianapolis Colts to beat the Las Vegas Raiders.
I think that's a good choice.
I am really hoping so. Watch,
Yeah,
this will be like, this will come back to bite me somehow. It just seems like there's always one game.
They got their loss out of their system. They're back to winning now.
But again, as we kind of stated earlier, Geno Smith is either I'm going to destroy you and have an amazing game, or I'm just going to shit the bed. And he already shit the bed last week, so this will probably be one of those games where Geno Smith just goes off for 350 yards and like 3 or 4 touchdowns with no interceptions.
I have a guess who your loser is, and I'll laugh if I'm right.
So my losing team, it really was close. It was a toss-up between Tennessee and Jacksonville. It really, really was. Because Houston was still playing, but Houston is playing Baltimore. And I'm not taking that as a losing team. Because even though Lamar Jackson's doubtful, there's still a chance he could play. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not taking that one chance. I'm taking Jacksonville to lose to the Chiefs.
That is a good choice.
Tennessee was a close choice, though. So, but
I was going to laugh if you took the Titans because I went with the NFC West. And my winner was the Cardinals over the Titans. And my loser is the 49ers to lose to the Rams.
I think that's actually going to be a pretty good game.
Yeah, I am okay with not getting that point because if the 49ers pull it out and really throw up a contest against the Rams, it's going to be a good game. I have a feeling that it's just going to be the 49ers circling the drain, but either way, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, also, I'm pretty sure this is for the top in the division, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that could be right.
Because I think the 49ers are top in the division right now.
I thought the Cardinals had them beat. Is that not right?
Nope, they beat the Cardinals.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, actually it's not. Well, to be fair, San Francisco, Seattle, and LA are all tied at 3-1. Arizona's 2-2. So it kind of is.
Okay.
But yeah, and this is also the Thursday night game, so we'll see. I think the Rams are going to be wearing their rivals jersey this week.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
So
I
have
haven't even heard what it is yet.
It's like, I think it's like black with like blue and yellow like stripes around the shoulder, like how the Rams used to have like the circle stripe that kind of like a ram horn, how they used to do that. Mm-hmm. I think they made it blue and yellow ram stripes around the shoulders, with like the rest of it's like black.
Okay, so that sounds like it could be cool.
It looks kind of interesting. I've seen the jersey. It's pretty neat, but yeah, it's with the Cardinals. Like I said, I was torn. The Cardinals and Titans, I'm like, yeah, this one's kind of close for me. I'm kind of going this week for a little more easier route since I've taken Flyers the last two and they've kind of come back to bite me. Well, the Giants one was just a dumb pick. I just wanted to have fun with that.
But that moves us into the next section of our podcast, a word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, what's up? Before we continue our show, I want to talk to you about our new sponsor, Dubby. You ever feel like you need that extra oomph to power through those late night study sessions, clutch those game wins, or finish that epic video edit? I know I do, and I finally found something that actually works without the jitters or the dreaded crash. Let me introduce you to Dubby. That's right guys, we're partnering with Dubby and we're seriously hyped. Dubby is our new go-to energy drink and it is a total game changer. What makes it so different is, first off, and this is huge for me, Dubby has no artificial dyes, plus it's all completely sugar-free, so you don't get that quick energy spike followed by a massive crash, and the taste is absolutely amazing. Dubby comes with a bunch of different flavors, such as Tiger's Blood, Green Apple, Strawberry Pineapple, plus limited time offers that do go quickly. I'm currently obsessed with the Tiger's Blood myself, but they're all really good. Alright, so how do you get your hands on this stuff? Head on over to dubby.gg and use our code GEEKS10 for 10% off your entire order. That's dubby.gg, dubby.gg. Seriously guys, go give it a try. You won't regret it. We love this product and I'm sure you will too. It's definitely been a game changer for us and I'm stoked to be sharing it with the rest of you. Now, let's go ahead and get back to our show.
And that brings us into Geeks and Greeks news. The first story on the docket is the Green Bay Packers tied with Dallas.
Not just tied. This was a 40-40 tie. And it's funny because I had a couple friends reach out and ask me if Dallas has figured something out, and I'm like, no, not at all. Nothing's been figured out. They still have the worst defense in the league. They gave up 40 points to an offense that's not that great. Like, the Packers' offense has been okay all season. The Packers' defense is what's kept them in this every game. Like, their offense is actually first in the league. And in watching their games, Dak Prescott has played absolutely out of his mind this season. Like, he's played phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, honestly, two people I think that would be surprising MVP kind of candidates in Dark Horse at this point would be Dak and Daniel Jones. Like, they're towards the bottom of it, but like, I mean, it wouldn't be shocked if they got like a vote or two for it from like one of their own writers.
For sure.
Because they've played that well to at least get a mention. Maybe not a legitimate mention, not like anything legitimate out of it, but like it wouldn't be shocking to see them if they can keep it up to be a mention in the conversation. But like, I mean, the running game has played well. George Pickens has absolutely stepped up in this game. Like I said, there was guys that stepped up and played really, really well. Their defense is just absolute trash. And it's funny, and when you watch the game, at least something I noticed is like they play so far back, they give up everything underneath every play because their linebackers are 5 yards deep at least.
Yeah.
They play 5 to 7 yards back. So any kind of under route, they're instantly giving up because they're not covering anything under that point. But then at the same time, their defensive backs can't cover the top either. So it's like, well, what do? You have no ability to cover.
Yeah, and when you give up that much short yardage, you're just inviting them to nickel and dime you all the way down the field.
Yeah. And they can't get a pass rush either. So it's like, I mean, you can't get a pass rush. You can't cover anything. It's like the recipe for the absolute worst defense and possibly the worst defense we've seen in the last 5 years. Yeah.
But moving on to the next story, the tush push has caused defensive coaches across the league to wake up in cold sweats. Now, last week, the great Nostradamus, predicted that the Eagles would create a play called the fake tush push, where they would hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley, pretend to do a tush push, and then just let Saquon walk around the pile like nothing happened. I was predicting it in the Super Bowl, but week 4 against the Bucs, that's cool.
And yeah, not even close to being he basically walked in backwards, watching everybody and just waving to him. It was
waiting for
great.
him to moonwalk into the end zone because he was nowhere near anybody.
I mean, they had to have done it at some point, and it's like one of those things where I'm going to laugh now if they just stop doing it, because I don't think they did it. I don't know if they did it at all last week.
The tush push? No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So it's like, and I think at one point in, like, when I was getting to watch some of the recaps and stuff, they even said, like, they haven't done the tush push. Jalen Hurts has just done a couple, like, designed quarterback runs, but no actual tush push this week.
I was wondering if that was my imagination. It just seems like he has been, like, crazy mobile lately. Like, he's always running.
He has been, and that may be more of the reason why, because they're trying to get him used to running and not being able to do it, since they're probably predicting it's going to be banned next season.
Could be.
And they're now working on just doing stuff without having to use it.
That's true.
I mean, I'm at this point, though, I'm waiting for A.J. Brown to lose his absolute goddamn mind and request a trade, because he's close.
Oh, yeah. He could not be more unplugged from this team if he tried.
Like, he's done. He's absolutely done.
He's probably going to hang around as long as he can just to see how many more Super Bowl rings he can rack up.
I don't think so. I mean, he's already talking about, the way he's already talking and acting, he wants out, like, he's going to want out before this season's over. Because he was already talking about,
true.
He was upset in the playoff run last year. He called out the team for not throwing the ball during the playoff run last season. And then, like, a couple days after they won the Super Bowl, he's again still complaining on social media about not getting the ball. Like,
yeah,
he's done. He wants to go to a team that's going to throw the ball to him.
Yeah. And he doesn't, I get the feeling that he doesn't play well with others. He doesn't like sharing the spotlight. And
it's
right
not
now,
that. I just think that it's one of those things where there's too many guys in Philly that want the ball. It's hard to spread it out to everybody, and they just don't throw it that much.
And the worst part is not only are there a lot of places to throw the ball, but then on top of that, you've got a team that has designed the quarterback sneak on steroids.
Yeah. So it's like, I think it's really just a Philly problem because of how their offense is designed. So I think really that's just the bigger issue. I mean, if he goes somewhere else, I don't think this is going to be as much of an issue. He just wants the ball. And you know what? It's one of those things where, again, we've been asking for this for, we were asking this last year. Like, we want more guys with more, we want guys that have more character. We want guys kind of like this, and we're getting more receivers like this. We want those guys that are calling these kind of things out and want the ball, and I'm all for it. I love it. Chaos, man. Chaos in Philly. I'm all for it.
See, this is the balance that you have to achieve in professional sports, not just football, all professional sports, where you have to temper ego and skill level, where you have to be the guy who can get the job done, but not bitch about it when someone else does the job instead of you.
Right. I just think football is one of those harder places where when you've got guys that can be number ones on other teams, it's really hard for that ego to subside.
Yeah.
And the only reason it's working in Dallas right now with Pickens and CD, when CD before he got hurt, is because Pickens is in his contract season.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only reason it's working. But like, I mean, again, you put AJ Brown on a team that throws more. Like if they were to go to somewhere like, say, the Rams, where they aired out a lot, or even say put him in Indy, where they throw a lot more. Like, I mean, even though other guys might get the ball, because they throw it more often, there's more chances of him getting it. The problem is Philly doesn't throw the ball. So the chances of him getting it are already low. And then you've got to get it to, then you've got, him, Devonta Smith, you've got Dallas Goedert, you've got Saquon, you've got all these dudes that are really good threats in the receiving game, plus the other, you've got your slot receivers and the guys, I just don't know their names. Pete would know them, but I just don't know the other guys outside of those main ones. But you've got so many other threats that they just don't throw that often So it's like, that's the biggest problem. You need a more pass-heavy system, and I think he'd be happy.
See, yeah, that's fair. Because I'm trying not to give him a bad rap, because he is a phenomenal player. I think that if he got into a pass-heavy team, he would be like a superstar. But as he stands, he's in the Swiss Army knife of the NFL, where they do a little of this, a little of this, a little of this, and then they just rotate around. And so he is getting a lot of attention, but not nearly the attention he would in a pass-heavy team.
And I think that's just really the biggest problem. So if he were to go to a pass-heavy system, I don't think he'd have as much of an issue.
Yeah.
But that's just it. Just put him if he was in a pass-heavy system, he'd be fine. Because I do think he's a top 10. He's a top 10 receiver, possibly close to top 5. I think he's in that 5 to 7 range, honestly.
I'll give you top 10 for sure. I'd have to mull that over to figure out top 5.
Like I said,
I'd say top 5 if he's not.
Like I said, between 5 and 7, somewhere in that range. I mean, if we did a list, he'd probably be somewhere of the top 10. He'd probably be between 5 and 7, depending on looking at kind of thinking of something. But he's in that range. So it's like, but then when you look at his catches and yards and everything, he's not utilized like that kind of a receiver.
No, he's
because they do a little bit of everything. So that's part of the issue. I think that's his problem. That's why he's so frustrated.
Yeah, he wants to be the guy. He wants to be that guy. But anyways, moving on to the next story. The NFL has officially announced that for the 2025 season, the Super Bowl halftime show will be Bad Bunny. All right. I realize that the halftime show is the Venn diagram of the most popular artist you can get who will do it for no money. And that limits your pool drastically. But I would like to point out that the halftime show of the Super Bowl has kind of hit a rut. In the past 4 years, we've had Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Rihanna, Usher, and Kendrick Lamar twice. I think they really
How did Kendrick do it twice?
He did it with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre in
Kendrick
2022.
wasn't there.
Yeah, he was.
No. He was?
Yep.
He's not part of that group.
He was part of the guest group, but I counted it.
That doesn't count.
He sung.
Barely.
But this is the 6th consecutive halftime show produced by Jay-Z and Rock Nation. And quite frankly, this is the 2nd halftime show by Bad Bunny, because he did the Kendrick Lamar bit, but he did it with Shakira and J-Lo in 2020. I can hear you out there. If not Bad Bunny, who would you pick? Well, I'm glad you asked, disembodied voice in my head. I would choose from a whole list of people, anywhere from Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, Weird Al, Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen has 4 songs on the country top 10 list right now. Taylor Swift, Mariah Carey, Alex Warren, Papa Roach. Hell, I would go with K-pop Demon Hunter at this point. Christ. But if I had my blue sky wish, I would ask Black Sabbath to do a tribute halftime show to the passing of Ozzy Osbourne, maybe in the style of Metallica's Icon special they did on MTV back in the day, where they got a bunch of big name bands to come in and do a cover of a Black Sabbath song, that kind of thing. I think that would be an amazing halftime show, and it'd be a hell of a lot better than Bad Bunny. Okay, I'm better now.
See, I think you're looking at this from, I don't know. I have no problem with Bad Bunny doing this. He sells a lot more records than pretty much everybody you mentioned. So you've got someone that's more popular worldwide, and it's going to draw in more fans than everybody else you've mentioned. It's also going to increase your demographic a lot further than everyone else you mentioned. It's going to broaden your demographic. It's going to broaden your horizons. It's also going to broaden your television pull worldwide too. And so I understand why they've done this, and it makes sense. I don't really have an issue with this at all. Like, I mean, picking a lot of these other people, you're really only playing to one demographic worth of people, where when you pick Bad Bunny, you're playing to a lot more.
They've had rappers, Rihanna being my exception, but minus Rihanna, they've had rappers as the halftime show for the past 4 years.
Rihanna's a rapper.
Technically,
she's not good at it, but she's a rapper. I mean, she's okay. Rihanna's was bad just because she was pregnant and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Kendrick's was bad only because whoever did the sound mixing really did a poor job. It was hard to kind of understand him, and not because of him. I feel like whoever mixed the sound did a poor job of it, more so than anything else. But also, that's the popular music, man.
Yeah,
the Super Bowl has always been the pop music of the day, the halftime show.
Well, I don't know about that. They've had like Prince and Tom Petty
and for the most part, it was because that's what was popular that year at that time. For the most part. Not all the time, but most of the time. They had The Who. That was a weird one.
Yeah.
For when they did it.
I will give you that The Who was a weird one.
The Who was really random.
But I just feel like if you've done the same thing for 4 years straight, to do it a fifth is bad.
I mean, but they did that for a long time back in the day, though, too.
And I am giving them a break. I'm not counting the Shakira and J-Lo because they're not rappers. They're their own thing. But just you've done rappers minus Rihanna for 4 years. Do something different, for crying out loud.
I mean, anyways. The problem is I don't think anyone wants to hear. I just don't, honestly, for the most part, Morgan Wallen is, again, it's not going to be a draw. It's going to draw one specific type of crowd. And I think they want to broaden their horizon, and that's not going to draw a younger crowd. That's going to draw an older crowd. They want to broaden to younger fans, and I think the NFL doesn't have a younger fan base. I think the NFL is losing their younger fan base because younger fans aren't as interested in football because of the violence of it. Not as much as like our generation or possibly even the beginning of Gen Z. I think a lot more of the younger Gen Zs and into Gen Alpha is not as much into football because of the more violent nature, and that's why they've kind of changed a lot of it too. And I think just as much has changed, but I don't know, it's one of those things where, I mean, it's just, again, I don't have any real issue with who they chose. It's also the halftime show. I really don't care. Like, for me, it's more about the football game than anything. It's like, I mean, most of who you said would have been fine for me. It's better than the other options I've seen circling social media. You'd be, dude, like, I was shocked when I've seen, like, the most popular thing I've seen on Facebook so far has been an unending support for Kid Rock. And I'm like, no, dude, we don't need the trailer park to come to the Super Bowl halftime show.
Kid Rock maybe
He had one song back in 9, and if you're going to tell me you can understand him more than you can understand Bad Bunny, then you're lying.
No, if you did Kid Rock, you'd have to do him like with an entourage, kind of like how they did Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and like 12 other people on the stage with that. It would have to be something similar.
But yeah, but if you get, at the same time, like, if you want to say that they did the same kind of thing, in the 2000s, it was all a bunch of old people. You had Phil Collins, Aerosmith, U2, Shania Twain, Janet Jackson, Paul McCartney, the Rolling Stones, Prince, Tom Petty, and Bruce Springsteen. Nothing but a bunch of old has-beens now reliving the glory days.
Was that a Bruce Springsteen jab? Glory days?
All of them. Tom Petty.
You made a
Prince,
joke and you didn't
the
even
Stones, Paul McCartney, Janet Jackson. Now, granted, with and Kid Rock was actually there. Janet Jackson, it was Janet Jackson, P. Diddy, Nelly, Kid Rock, Timberlake, and Jessica Simpson.
Really? Janet Jackson did a halftime show? I don't remember that at all. I don't.
Shania Twain, U2, Aerosmith.
By the
Phil
way,
Collins.
For you young kids out there who didn't get the joke, Glory Days and Bruce Springsteen, that's a funny joke. Look it up. Ask your parents.
Yeah. But yeah, like the 2000s, the entire decade was just nothing but at least people from that were popular in the 80s and 60s and 70s and 80s reliving their time. So it's like,
which was really cool at the time. It was really cool, but
which
also
played to them, which played to the older people. So again, and then the very next year after, in 2010, it was The Who. So again, still playing to the older generation. Now they're starting to play to the newer generation.
They can't all be winners, but I will say that was all before Jay-Z Rock Nation took over production rights of the Super Bowl show. And ever since Jay-Z Rock Nation took over, it's been, minus the Shakira Jennifer Lopez in 2020, it's just been consistent rappers. And I have nothing against rappers. If it's a good rapper, I'm all aboard. But can you please break it up a little bit?
Yeah, we've also had some other bad ones in the 2010s, though, too. We had Coldplay, we had Justin Timberlake, we had Maroon 5, we had Lady Gaga.
Maroon 5.
We had Katy Perry. Bruno Mars was the last probably good halftime show we had, to be honest with you. Like, when it comes to actual performance and everything else, Bruno Mars back in 2014 was probably the last good one we really had.
I'm trying to think I think that's probably right.
Like, I didn't know Beyonce did one back in 2013. I don't remember that one at all, to be honest with you, because I'd never have been a Beyonce fan.
It was that forgettable.
Yeah. But, wow, Madonna. And that was in Indy.
Yeah, that was the Giants-Patriots Super Bowl.
But yeah, before Jay-Z, it was Ricky Kirshner who did almost a decade's worth of shows, who did basically nothing but pop. It's Madonna, Coldplay, Bruno Mars,
I would not
Lady
say
Gaga,
Coldplay's
Justin
pop.
Timberlake, Maroon 5. They're all pop.
Coldplay's not pop.
What do you call them? They're not rock.
I don't know. They're kind of this weird peripheral thing. They're not pop. I can tell you that much.
Maroon 5 sure as hell is.
Yeah, they kind of started as something else, but then they kind of slipped into their pop groove.
Well, here, Jay-Z and Rock Nation did the Shakira Jennifer Lopez show.
That's what I said. It's like
Yeah.
if you skip that one, it's been pretty much nothing but rappers for 4
The Weeknd's
years.
kind of this weird mix between rap and pop.
They were the 2001. They were one I also didn't count. But right
Yeah.
after that, that's when he hit the gas on the rap.
Usher's
and
not
didn't
rap.
Stop.
Usher's hip
Usher
hop.
is rap.
Nah, he's hip hop. That's different.
Okay,
There's a difference between
you're
rap
right.
and straight rap and hip hop. And
You're
Usher's
right.
more in the smooth hip hop kind of a thing, more so than rap.
But when part of your show is Ludacris, Little Jon, and I forget the fourth guy, you kind of fall
Jermaine
into that
Dupri.
rap groove.
Alicia Keys was there too.
Oh, that's true. She was. But anyways,
So
Move-
I don't know. But real quick, just to kind of put a note on it, we'll see what happens. I mean, have they been kind of on the same thing? Yeah, I do feel like it's been kind of also been, again, what's been, for the most part, what's also the most popular. We'll see what's happened. I mean, we could see a trend here for a while, but it's kind of also just what it's also been. They do the same style of music for a while, though. It's kind of a trend that the NFL does. So we'll see. Maybe we'll be different after Bad Bunny.
but can we agree that a Black Sabbath tribute halftime show would be amazing?
The problem with that is that I think it would take too long, and they don't have that long a time to do it.
They could still nail out, 5 songs? Something like that?
You'd have to do a melody of a bunch of songs clipped together. I don't think it'd be as cool as you think it would be.
Yeah, fair.
So probably not,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
all right. So they really do need their own icon special. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Is MTV even a thing anymore?
Not for real music, not for like actual music videos.
All right, whatever's left of MTV, get on this icon special for Black Sabbath. I want to see it by the end of the year. Let's do this. But moving into the next topic of the news, the MLB postseason. On the AL side, we have the Tigers taking on the Guardians, with the winner of this matchup going on to take the Mariners. Also, the Red Sox taking on the Yankees, with the winners of this match going on to face the Blue Jays. On the NL side, we have the Reds taking on the Dodgers, with the winner going on to face the Phillies. Also, the Padres and the Cubs, with the winner of them taking on the Brewers. Let the games begin.
So the games have already begun.
Yeah.
As of right now, Tigers and Guardians are tied at 1 game apiece, and they will play tomorrow for the deciding game 3. Right now, the Yankees and Red Sox are tied at 3-3 in the middle of the 8th, with Boston leading 1-0. The Reds and Dodgers play tonight at 9, and LA leads 1-0. And the Padres and Cubs are both tied at a game apiece, and they will play the deciding game 3 tomorrow.
It has begun.
Yep. So the divisional round goes very quickly now. It's only a best of 3.
Moving into a far less interesting sport, the WNBA Finals. Now, last night, the
Damn.
Indiana Fever faced the Aces in a winner-take-all Game 5 of the semifinals. The Fever have had a ton of injuries this season, and last night they suffered one last 2025 injury, with Kelsey Mitchell getting injured and left the game in the third quarter. And even with the Fever being absent 4 of their best players, Indiana was still able to hold the Aces to a tie and go into overtime. The Fever put up a good game led by Aaliyah Boston, who was called for her 6th foul and was ejected. This sent the Aces to the line and let the momentum out of the game. Aces win and go on to the finals against the Mercury. I would like to give a shout out to Lexi Hall and Odyssey Sims, who picked up the slack of this game, playing over 40 minutes each. And to remind viewers who don't follow the WNBA, Odyssey Sims was signed to the Fever because of their second hardship contract. Hardship contract is a special circumstance of signing players because you can no longer fill a roster due to injuries. She was their second hardship signing. The Fever had four hardship signings in 2025. This Friday, October 3rd, will be Game 1 of the WNBA Finals. And since I'm feeling rather petty right now, I want to say go ahead and enjoy your 40% reduction in viewership, statistically speaking.
I mean, didn't they already have that since Caitlin Clark wasn't playing anyway?
Yeah, it did fall under expectations, but it was still more than it was last year.
I mean, you know what? WNBA is growing, and it's going to be something good for the league as a whole. So this will probably be hopefully one of the last years that the Fever don't make the finals, but it's cool that they made it that far without Cunningham and Clark. More impressive than anything, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Now they seem to get better athletic training staff, prevent injuries.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's going to be about it. Final thoughts.
I want to give a shout out to Nafessa Collier of the WNBA, who gave a scorched earth assessment of the commissioner of the WNBA, Kathy Engelbert. If you haven't seen the speech, I highly encourage it. It is fantastic. Some of my favorite clips are when she asked the commissioner about the abysmal officiating. The commissioner replied that only losers complain about the officiating. I disagree. Michael Jordan and Larry Bird both criticized the officiating of the NBA in the late 80s and early 90s. And also, when asked about the mediocre salary of big stars like Caitlin Clark, she said that Caitlin Clark should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court because without the platform of the WNBA, she wouldn't make anything. Probably not the most diplomatic thing to say, but hey, here you go.
Yeah, she's going to be out as commissioner real soon.
Oh, yeah, especially like that. And if you're interested in Formula One racing, we have the Singapore Grand Prix starting tomorrow and running through the weekend. Should be a fun time if you're an F1 fan. Go check it out.
Yeah, Singapore's always a fun track. I love the Singapore track.
Yeah.
Very fast, very quick. Always the street courses are always kind of fun like that.
Gosh,
I'm pretty sure they come to the U.S. down to Austin here in like a couple weeks. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that. So, I think it's actually into November this year. I'll have to double check that. I'm sorry, I don't know.
I don't think it's November. I think November is the Vegas race.
I think that's what I was thinking of. I didn't. Is there one before the Vegas one?
There's one I think there's one in Austin if they haven't already done it. They do one down in Texas.
Oh, right. The one in Vegas is the
racetrack.
I was thinking of.
The racetrack's actually called the Circuit of the Americas. It's actually it's a pretty cool track too. So, but yeah. So, also don't forget, and like I said, we just mentioned, MLB playoffs are going on. These are some really, really good games going on right now. That Boston and New York Yankees series is probably one of the best. Also, Padres Cubs, which is kind of a interesting one for us here because our team here in Fort Wayne, where we are around here, is a farm system for the San Diego Padres. So, kind of conflicting for Cubs fans and for Tin Caps fans around the area. So, all right, that's all for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Geeks and Greeks. Until next time, may the coin toss of life ever be in your favor. Later, guys.
Peace.
People take what we give you.